This is Dijon and I'm Murray and we're Biokineticists.
Alright, so we thought for our first little bit that we're just going to start about who are we as biokineticists, what we do and what is biokinetics, because it can come across as a bit of a complicated word that people go bio what, and so it's a nice word just for us to introduce ourselves as bios and what biokinetics is. So just to give you a little bit of my background, I did all my studies at the then UPE, and then I have been in practice now for 21 years, private practice. So it's been a long, wonderful journey for myself, and I love what I do, and my practice mainly focuses on orthopedic issues, as well as special populations such as your strokes, your Parkinson's, the elderly, that kind of thing, and women's health and women's movement.
Yes.
So that's basically me in a little nutshell.
And I'm Murray and I studied at the now NMU, and I've only been in private practice for about a year now. So my passion is definitely elderly patients and chronic diseases and management of chronic diseases. And I find that happens quite a lot. We see a lot of bios that do orthopedic rehab for like the knee or the ankle or shoulder. I think there's a niche and a need for chronic disease management.
Definitely, especially sort of, as you say, in your elderly population, because it's they come with a lot more. They don't just come with one thing.
Yes.
So you've been on the planet for 70 odd years. You have a lot more.
A lot.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's quickly dive into what is biokinetics. I mean, the word itself is life and movement. So if you put those together, it's life through movement, and you can't have life without it.
No.
We here at the practice at Dijon Watkins Biokineticist, we have the ethos is health improvement through movement, and that's our main focus, is functional activities or ADLs, activities of daily living, and helping people move better in their daily life.
Yeah, and it's any movement. It doesn't matter what you do. You've just got to move, because that old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's exactly it. So with that whole health improvement through movement, it's really just any sort of movement just to improve whatever your health is, whether it's you're really quite active to keep that going, or whether you're struggling with something on a more chronic basis, to try and help manage that better.
Yeah, definitely. Where do bios actually slot into the healthcare system? Who do you see first? Do you see where do we actually slot into the healthcare system? Do you see a physio first? Do you see a chiro first? Do you see a GP first? Do you see a homeopath first? Where do we slot into the healthcare system?
Well, so mainly, we have always called ourselves as final phase rehabilitation. So that's really just if you are struggling with acute pain, so if you've just injured yourself, or you've just had an operation, or if you've got an acute pain, that's where you would possibly see your GP first, just to sort of as a starting point. And then most times your physios or your chiropractors, those are the guys who are going to deal with that acute pain, because they're more hands-on than, as in like physically hands-on than what we are. And then once that acute phase is over, or as over as what it possibly can be, that's when we sort of come in, and then we start looking at how to, whatever you've had, for instance, if you have had an injury, that we then look at how we can rehabilitate that using specific exercises to take you forward.
Yeah, so we work a lot in injury prevention, or re-injury prevention. So you hurt yourself, you've had a fall, you go see the physio, see the chiro, see your GP, and then we're kind of the last port of call. But that doesn't mean you can't come to us first. we are still here, but we do a lot of prevention work and making sure that you can move without re-injuring yourself, or prevent that injury from happening either way.
And when it comes to sort of things like surgery, if you've had a joint replacement or back operation, there's that first incredibly important phase of seeing your physio after your operation. 100%. And we see that for sure. and I know from my experience that I can see patients who've had good physiotherapy after a joint replacement. They certainly makes our job easier. So it's so important, and if you miss out that phase, it does make it a little bit more tricky.
Yeah.
But then once your physio is done with the first 8 to 12 weeks of their work, their hands-on work, then the patient then comes to us, and then we look at how trying to get the muscles back to a more functional state, and so that you can get back to whatever it is you want to do.
Your daily life.
Yeah.
Whether you're a runner, whether you're a gardener, whether you're a swimmer, we do our best to help you get back to where you were before. And sometimes, it's not possible, and that is the hard truth. And sometimes people do find that difficult to believe.
Yes.
But like Dijon said in the beginning, your body's carried you for 70 odd years. Some things are going to happen. You're not going to be able to live without pain forever.
Yeah, we can't turn back time. And I always try and use the analogy of if you have a car that's 70, it certainly wouldn't work the way that it worked when it was brand new.
Yeah.
So but we work around those constraints, and even with
100%.
chronic pain,
Yes.
we really are. As biokineticists, we're very effective with working with chronic pain management. Not to say that we can always cure it, but we can definitely. I mean, I've seen it over the years. People who've had chronic neck pain and they're not able to do anything. And you give them the right tools and the right exercises, they can really be more functional.
100%. And so even if you don't have anything, go see a bio. It's a great idea.